What's up, guys? I'm Turtle, and this is Turtle Talks. And we're doing this one for a very specific reason, and I'm trying to watch the levels right. I think the music's still a bit loud. Turn it on a bit on my side, and hopefully it doesn't cut out completely. But yes, this is Turtle Talks, and this is my show where I talk about whatever I feel like, whenever I feel like it. And I haven't done one of these in a while. There hasn't been a lot of motivation to do so in a while, and I'm gonna point out the first big reason why is YouTube stopped letting smaller channels make money, or made it like impossible for you to monetize your own videos. And that is, for someone like me who does not make a ton of views, doesn't have 100,000 subscribers, and doesn't get the 4,000 something hours that they require for this like entrance to monetizing your videos, impossible. Like it is almost impossible to grow a YouTube channel. So I have almost completely switched over to using Twitch to do any of the gaming that I do. And I used to like doing kind of these like Call of Duty every year videos where I talk about what they changed and like how the leveling system was different. And now I can just play, like when Fortnite came out and I started playing it, I can just play it and I can stream it, and I don't have to do any of the kind of like look back at what was happening in the last game, how it's different than the next game. I just play and it's fun. And Twitch versus YouTube, Twitch has an easier time for beginners to actually see like what the path is to become an affiliate and to become whatever the other term is that they have. But once you get, they have like a little achievement thing basically on Twitch, where once you have 50 followers, then you can get your subscribe button thing, and then once you get more than a certain amount, you can get you can become a Twitch partner. That system is so much easier and so much more straightforward, and I wish YouTube would have done something like that years ago. And they have kind of just moved to this weird system that makes it impossible for someone starting out to actually grow a channel. It is very hard now, I think, unless you get like something real viral, and that's clickbaity and whatever. You have to be kind of more strategic and I don't want to say douchey, but you have to be more like business oriented and just thinking about it. And so it's a little harder to get on that train now. And there are the obvious, the YouTube success stories that people that boomed and make it and still have lots of subscribers, and they ups and downs when there's like the adpocalypse thing a couple years ago now, where just ad revenues went down a lot, and those things are really harsh and take out people's livelihoods. And that leads me to my next thing that I really wanted to touch on, but I know is a sensitive subject, but I just want to say, like, I feel bad for what happened at the YouTube headquarters. I feel bad that something so crazy like that could happen. And this is a very recent thing, so like, my heart goes out to anyone that's a victim of that. And it's crazy. I see it as almost like someone going postal in the 90s, or when they had those kind of situations going on many years ago. I think some of us have forgotten how those things happen, but bad bosses and bad management caused people to feel like they couldn't make their livelihood anymore, that they weren't able to move up, or that they weren't able to do their job. And then something crazy drastic happens, a mass shooting, or someone goes postal, someone goes to the post office, shoots up a bunch of stuff at a mailroom. And that, I feel like that is a similar thing to this, and it's terrible. I see why it happened, and I think it's something we should have learned from. And oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy to have something like that going on. There's so many other big tragedies going on right now, and then to see this one, and then the way that this one's being handled is kind of differently by the news. And I think that's weird, because this one doesn't fit the right or the left-wing agenda of it's an AR-15, it's a white male, it's a whatever, they can't push the gun controls. And it was in a very highly gun controlled area where they had security guards and they had whatever, but it's not their typical, it's like a female shooter, which is rare. It's I think it was a handgun from what I read. A lot of different things in California. which has very high strict gun laws, kind of just proving that gun laws don't help and don't work out and don't make safe spaces actually safe. You know, other things could be said, but I think it's still too soon because I don't really know all of the facts on this incident anyways. Like, I only know the little bits that I've seen. It's it happened 2 days ago. This is Thursday, so it happened on Tuesday. And I almost instantly wanted to make a video on Tuesday night when I heard about it, but I figured it is best to just kind of give these things time. There's people grieving, there's stuff going on, and I'm a very opinionated person. When it comes to these kind of things, I grew up in a very right-wing Second Amendment family I mean, born in Montana, raised in Alaska, so I lived in 2 of the states that have some of the like highest per capita gun ownership. I mean, you know, if you know people that don't own a gun, they're the loonies, you know, in Alaska and Montana. Like, they're the ones that you're like, why don't you own a gun? There's bears, there's mountain lions, there's things that you need a gun for. And hunting was a way of life growing up. So to me, gun laws should be, you know, I mean, I guess city life is different, obviously, but, you know, living on almost farmland. Like, we didn't live on a farm, but I had neighbors that were farmers. I had student friends and stuff that I went to school with that did live on actual farms and did have to deal with going hunting and stuff. And so, for me, you know, I was raised with respect for a gun. I was raised with knowledge of how to use a gun, I mean, just so many of the little, you know, the rules of never point a gun at anyone that you wouldn't want, you know, anything you wouldn't want to kill, not just anyone, but anything you wouldn't want to kill. Never point a gun at anything, you know, never have your finger over the trigger. Just the respect for the gun, you know, to just, you know, so many, like, I don't know, they seem like small things to me because you know, it was pretty normal, and I don't even know what things to explain to someone who doesn't know anything about guns, because there's people that are just afraid of guns. Like, they just think guns are out to kill them, but they're not. Like, a gun can't do it. It's sick people that do these things. It is a people problem. It is a mental health problem. It is a stability problem. We live in a stressful world. It's a stress problem where sometimes things happen that stress someone out, and they end up going and shooting up a place. They get bullied. They get, you know, punked around. And yeah, that's how you see some of these, the aftermath of some of these mass shootings. You see them and you think, I wish there was something we could have done for this person, because they're suffering, they're in pain, and they don't know what to do or a better way out, and they deal with it in what we consider an extreme way. And maybe if they were taught respect for life, maybe if they were taught respect for just other people, maybe if they were actually respected by other people, things might have gone differently or might not have happened at all. And you know, you could make theories on a lot of different things. I mean, as far back as the Columbine shooting, you know, if those kids weren't punked around and bullied, or didn't, you know, people, you know, if someone was just nice to them, they might not have done that. But, you know, it's all hypothetical and we'll never know, because I mean, maybe that person was just setting their mind on doing that. So it's hard to deal with. It's a little weird to talk about, because I know I'm an opinionated person. I like, you know, owning guns. I like having a different variety of guns for different reasons. Some for hunting, some for target practice, some for self-defense, just to have. I like to be able to get ammo and accessories and whatever for a gun, a scope, whatever. It doesn't make sense to me to restrict some of those things, because, you know, the things that have been vilified by the news sometimes aren't really as bad, and then you get people like Hillary Clinton calling out, you know, what if they had a suppressor? Imagine how much worse this could have been. And then they're trying to push this gun law on. You know, we can't have suppressors and bump stocks, and we can't have this and that. That was on an event that didn't even have a suppressor, and it wouldn't have made a difference, because a suppressor is not a silencer like they make it sound in a movie where all of a sudden there's nothing. Like, it makes it less noise, but it's not, you know, it's still more of a comfort thing if you're out at a shooting range to just not have to, you know, I mean, you should still probably wear earmuffs and cover when you're shooting a gun or for a while at a target range. You should be doing that. There's a lawnmower outside, and I wish I had earmuffs for that. Suppressor, it suppresses the fire, and other things like a muzzle flash kind of hiding thing. Those are more of a military thing, like to hide a sniper's position and whatnot. You don't see the flash off of a hill or off of a spot where a sniper would be coming from, so people don't know where to go to get that. I don't feel like that is quite something that needs to be in the hand of everyone, but if you wanted it, I don't see much of a reason to stop people. I mean, you can make a suppressor with a Coke bottle and some duct tape if you really wanted to. So, like, the fact that this video will probably get taken off of YouTube just for saying that. I'm not saying how to do it. I'm just saying that, like, there's people that do that, right? Anyways, there is the possibility to do that without spending money on some little trinket that goes on your gun and screws in. So, I'm just saying. I don't know. I grew up in a place where that was normal. Shooting competitions and stuff were normal. I went to a school that had a shooting range in it. It was doubled as a tsunami and bomb shelter. At some point they made these really thick cement walls or whatever, and a big long hallway, and it was supposed to be big enough to hold, however many people, a couple hundred people. But at some point, I don't know when, that was probably made few years before it was decided to turn into a shooting range, indoor shooting range. But it was a school with an indoor shooting range. We could go up there, we could shoot some 22s, and clip size and stuff, magazine size was not an issue in Alaska. You could get a 100-round clip for your 22, and banana clips and stuff that made your 22 look like an AK-47, basically. You got this big banana clip coming down, you just sit there and pop, 50 shots, I think, was what the banana clips held, and then we had a 100-round drum for one of our 22s, and, people would be like, oh, that's excessive, but it's fun. You go out and shoot, and you can, you reload once, or you fill up a whole thing, and then you shoot that one thing once, and you're done. 4th of July, a whole bunch of popping and banging, and same thing with New Year's, you shoot off a bunch of gunshots, and that's, we didn't do like they do here. There's gunshots going off here, 4th of July and New Year's, and it's just people shooting in the air, and pop, and you're like, where are these bullets coming down? But we always had a mound of dirt backstop, something we were shooting into, because we were taught to respect it and to treat it as a weapon, and even if you were having fun, to still respect the power of it. And I think that's something that really lacks here in like other states, other than Montana and California. It's just, other than Montana and Alaska, in California, it's not something that kids are used to, that kids know about. There's the people that fear it, there's the people that just don't know anything about it, and guns is not a thing where ignorance is bliss, because we grew up in a country that had armed militiamen to keep out foreign invaders, and had every household had a gun during the Civil War kind of thing. Watch any historical kind of movie or show, and pretty much everyone had a gun. They're sitting on their porch with their gun. They're not sitting out there with their iPad. They're out there with a gun. So it's kind of weird that we're letting government dictate why we should have that, when the rules say you can have it without any regulation on it. The government should be able to tell you what you can and can't have, and then now we're like giving it to them and saying, hey, no, you moderate this and we'll just do whatever you say. It's kind of a weird position to be in, and I get why some people want it, but I don't. Like, it's just not me. And it's a hard topic, and there's a lot of people that get shut down on YouTube. There's a lot of people that get shut down in Hollywood and other just famous places, people, actors, when they come out and talk about this kind of stuff from the right-wing perspective, the Republican side of it, they get either booed by the loud, obnoxious people who don't want to have a discussion about it, that don't want to talk about it, that don't see a reason for it, that don't know anything about it either. I mean, there's the videos of people showing like different caliber ammo and saying like, which one's okay? Is this one okay? Is this one okay? They're like, no, this one's bad because it's bigger. They show like a 30-06 round. It's like, that's for hunting. You know, and then they show like a smaller round. They're like, it's probably fine. That's for an AR-15, you know, but they don't know that because they don't know what any of this stuff is, what it means, what it's for, how it's used. But they have this opinion, and they got, you know, they get, you know, in the echo chamber of Twitter or Instagram, and someone else said this, and they just repeat it and regurgitate it and just spit it out. Countless echoes into a chamber like that. Doesn't really get anything done. And yeah, I don't know what a solution would be. Like, I grew up in a place where we literally didn't want that. The majority of people in the places that I grew up didn't want that, and only the people that were outsiders from somewhere like California would come up and be like, why do you have guns? Why are there so many guns here? Why is this gun? And they'd freak out about it. And those people normally didn't last long. They normally didn't stay there. They generally moved back to California or wherever they're from after a while because it was too hard to live in Alaska, or it was too hard to live in Montana. It's too hard to live on a farm. It's too hard to live somewhere where you don't have, you know, nowadays kids would freak out if they didn't have the fastest internet. Living in Montana, we had like dial-up speed in 2003, so I don't know what, you know, what speeds were like for everyone else back then, but for us, that was like, we had the internet, wow, you know, we didn't use it very often. You know, we used it a little bit here and there, a couple minutes, and then we went out and rode our bikes. We went to the lake, we went swimming, we did stuff, and we had fun, we had lives. And nowadays, I've been away from it so long that I've lived in California now for a lot of years, over a decade now, and I'm kind of baffled by the way people are and the way people treat it. And I know I'm in a minority here, you know, being a right-winged kind of person. I am in a majority, but I'm a very loud person, and I will talk with these people about these things, right? I will talk about, you know, the way it was where I lived, the way things were growing up, and just, you know, the stuff that I've seen and how we never had a problem. I mean, in Montana, we had trucks in the parking lot that had rifles in them because kids would go hunting during deer season, and they'd go hunting. I mean, I remember a guy shot a buck and brought it to school. Like, he gutted it and he brought it to school, and then he had to wait till like lunch to go take it home, and he was gonna go, you know, skin it and put it in his freezer. I think he was gonna miss like the second half of the day, but on his way to school, he, you know, he saw this buck or whatever and got it, and you know, did the minimal part of gutting it, you know, got rid of the bladder and whatnot, and then, you know, had it in the back of his truck, and then had his gun rifle on a rack. And you know, people always like, well, you know, what if someone decided to shoot up school? No one was going to shoot up the school. It was, you know, there was plenty of other guns on campus. If someone was going crazy and doing something like that, someone would have went and got their gun out of their truck or someone else's truck and stopped whatever crazy thing was going on. It wouldn't have gone like it's, I don't know. And we didn't feel unsafe because other people had guns there. We felt more safe because we knew no one was going to do anything crazy. So, you know, even the kids, like, I was getting punked and bullied. I wasn't going to go shoot up no school because I wouldn't have done anything. To me, it was just it'd be an irrational thing to do. But you know, nobody was going to do anything like that, and that's just, I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of punking and bullying going on, and it wasn't a thought like, oh, it would just be better if I just shot this place up. There was nothing like that. So you know, maybe it's just a different respect for life up there, respect for people is different, something. And I get it, it's a hard topic, and most people will shut down when you want to talk about it, and some people just don't want to talk about it. And when you try and do a conversation on this, the echo chamber stuff comes up. Like I said, like the mainstream media or the Twitter feeds that people have been hearing, they just regurgitate that, and they don't have their own formed opinions. Please just, you know, take some time and actually get your own opinions on these things, and then talk about it in a calm manner. I mean, you can get a little bit, you know, excited on some things, I know, but it's best if you can just keep it calm. If you can let everyone at the, you know, the table or whatever, when you're having these conversations, have a turn. Like, that's all you got to do. Just let everyone have their chance to say what they want to say. And maybe through the power of, like, human brain power, we could maybe think up some actual solutions. You know, I hear the we need more thorough background checks. We need background checks and stuff, and they have those. Like those exist. They're not quite a linked thing, right? Like I don't think there's a one federal standard for background checks. There is per state's different background checks, and each state, if you go to get a gun, you have to go through like a process, like a 10-day waiting to get a gun, and then you can get denied in that process and then get told no. And that's like a per state thing. You can go to the next state, and because they have a different record system, they may not have like that other state's records. There's not a joint thing. I could see people wanting to work on something like that, where those systems are more linked together to help prevent people from just going across the border to somewhere that has less rules. I could see that being a thing, but how to implement it, I am no expert, I'm no politician, and I don't have any real ideas on like how to better that system. But you barely hear that talk. It normally goes to like, there needs to be regulation on this, there needs to be background checks. Well, there are. It's not a perfect system, and that could be improved upon. Yes, we should maybe improve upon that. And I don't know. I think this is a tough subject, so I'm probably gonna just leave it there for now. Yeah. It's been a while since I've done one of these talks, so I feel like I've got a lot of things in the back of my mind that I'm trying to pull up, like, what have I not talked about? And we covered the YouTube, switching to Twitch. Playing games on there is fun. I wish I could get more viewers. I wish I could get more people to follow me. I'd like to make that a more steady thing. I'd like to really get that going so that it's a more professional hobby. Like right now it's an amateur hobby and I'm not getting paid for it yet, right? But in the end, I would like to make it something that is at least pays for to get better equipment, or to get whatever for streaming, to get more computer parts or something. I'd like to get it to that point relatively soon. I don't know how. It takes so long sometimes to just find initial followers, and I struggle with getting kind of in this like slump where I'm like, I'm not making any progress. I've had 0 viewers for the last 5 streams. What am I doing wrong? And I go and hit the Facebook social media groups that I know and try and post, and then I go to some of my friends, I'm like, can you watch my stream? And then some of them are like, yeah. And I'll have a stream where I have like 12 people viewing, and that's cool. And then I'll go back to days with 0, and I'm just like, did I do something wrong? Have I said something wrong? And I can't figure it out. I can't figure out what the magic rhythm is for growing a channel, and I wish it would just, I don't know, pick up at some point and be, I'd like to just see 100 people on a stream that I'm doing, and people just talking and whatever in the chat, and a lot of times there's nothing. And even when there's 12 viewers, some of them that I'm getting are from one friend that I have that streams. He'll host or raid my stream with his stream when his is over, because he gets done about the time I'm starting, really. And so that was nice when that happened the other day, but his viewers are not mostly English speakers, so they are actually Turkish speaking on his stream, and I know him because we play League of Legends together, and through a bunch of friends, and he does speak English, but he does mostly Turkish streams just because that's where he found an audience, and his channel's grown pretty quick in the last 2-3 months. Like, he actually got like a crazy following really quick. Awesome, I'm glad for him, but I don't want to like just poach his viewers to try and get my thing going. It's cool when they come and stop by, or when he raids me and drops off a few at the end of his night, but again, they're Turkish speaking community, and they're probably not understanding what's going on, and even if they like the gameplay that's going on, they're not hearing the jokes or getting the puns or whatever that's going on, right? And so I do want to have my own community, and it's nice to have his there too. And if they enjoy watching, I appreciate them, and they can totally come by anytime. Thanks, guys. But I would like to get my own thing going, and I would like to get it steady, and I'd like to get it just built to where I am actually in the motivated mood to continue making more content for you guys. And I'd like to get it where it's fun for me and for you guys, where I'm in a better attitude. And I've struggled in the last year. I have a little bit of off and on, I don't even want to call it depression, but just like down days, you know? It's not full on like full blown depression, but there's just days where I'm like, man, I've got nothing going on. I have got, you know, no motivation. And which brings me to the next thing, which was end of February, I ended up getting sent to the hospital. I had a bad allergic reaction, and it put me in the hospital for 3 days. And while I was there, they didn't want to treat allergies at all. They really didn't want to do anything for me that I thought was helpful while I was there. But while doing blood work, they said, look, you might have type 2 diabetes, you need to work on this. And then everything that they wanted to talk about was like, here's 7 DVDs on diabetes and all the things that are involved in diabetes and a diabetic life. And, you know, your life's not over. You have diabetes, but, you know, you just need to make some changes. You need to exercise. You need to eat better, eat healthier, and there's a couple other things. But, you know, the basic was like, you need to exercise and you need to eat better. And so I've been trying to eat better. I've been trying to do a low carb and a lot less sugar, like almost no sugar in my diet. And it sucks. I like food. I'm someone who loves food. I love cake. I love donuts. I love sugar. I love soda. I love stuff that is like not good for you, and I know it. And I think getting told you're type 2 diabetic and you can be, you know, healed if you just stick to this full diet for however long is I don't know, it's been bumming me out for sure. It's made me feel a lot of times like I just don't have the energy that I used to have. You know, having to cut back on energy drinks and on the sugar stuff. I don't think I knew before what it felt like to have low blood sugar, because I don't think I've ever had low blood sugar. But now, like when I'm checking with the finger prick every day, I'm finding like, you know, when it's getting pretty low, I feel just kind of not jittery, but just that I don't know, anxious kind of feeling where it's like I need food, you know, and kind of just that stuttering that you're hearing right now. Like I'm just thinking about it and making me kind of have that like I'm blah blah blah, and I don't have the focus, and I don't have the exact I don't know way to express it. Like it's new to me still, so I feel like even just trying to talk about it, I have like a little kid mentality where I'm stuck on some words and I'm trying to think of what the next part of the phrase is just to explain it. If that makes sense to you guys, maybe some of you know what that's like. I've, you know, not known anyone in my family to be diabetic, but I'm starting to find out that a lot of friends that I do have here are type 2 diabetic, or have been told that they're diabetic and have been, you know, dealing with that for some of them like 10 years. I found out one friend, you know, has been dealing with it for 10 years, and I'm, in my mind, I'm like, 10 years? They keep saying like you're young, you're only, you know, in your 30s, you can, you know, change your diet, exercise, and you can get healed from this, and you will be, you know, it'll be back to normal if you just, you know, do this. And if you don't, you know, liver failure, kidney failure, heart failure, blah 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 failure, you know, you get a bruise on your toe, you could lose your toe. Like they're telling me all these like doomsday scenarios, like freaking me out, right? And the high stress and high anxiety of that is like, boo, you know, I want to do the right thing. I want to have the diet sorted. I want to have exercise more regular. You know, I was at I'm not sure when exactly I lost all the weight, but I was at one point in like 2010. I know I was almost like 280, 290, and then somewhere after that I was almost 300 pounds, and I saw the scale hitting 300 pounds, and mine circles back to 0 at that point. And I was like, if it goes all the way around, I'm in trouble. And I started just trying to be more active and trying to eat and drink a little bit better. And I was still not going no sugar or nothing, but just going, I need to drink more water, less soda, and forcing myself to actually drink water was hard at first. I grew up in Alaska. We had well water, which is gross. Like, water in Alaska can be really good, you know, if you get it real fresh from a spring, words, you can get some really good water, but well water is kind of just gross, and you end up getting, you live in a place where you've got old pipes and you've got calcium or lime in the plumbing, and yeah, so all your sinks have like either the green buildup if you got a lot of lime, or kind of a pink buildup if you got a lot of calcium in the water. And I know different places we live, we had different hard water issues, and when you have well water, you have hard water. You don't have city water. There's no bleach. There's no, well, you know, there may be a guy that has like a thing on the well that he tries to do something with it, but it's not a perfect system, and it's not well regulated at all, because it's, you know, in the bush in Alaska, in the middle of nowhere, in a little, you know, tiny neighborhood of, you know, maybe a couple hundred people, all getting water from a well or a thing. And so the water was pretty gross up there. And I remember we bought jugged water for a while, and I remember we had some issue where like our water softener broke. And a water softener is basically when you have hard water or like well water, it's kind of this big filter purifier thing that your water goes through, but you put rock salt in it. And I don't know how, like, your water doesn't come out tasting salty, but there's something in there that it goes through a filter and it does something. I don't know if it's supposed to kill bacteria or just break down the enzymes of the lime and stuff. I don't know what it does, because I was little when this was going on, when I was living where this was. But I just remember the water tasting like, you know, just it tasted like it had some you know, lettuce growing in it, or it had something. There was something weird about the water. And so growing up, we didn't drink a lot of water. I drank a lot of soda. That's just the norm, and I think that was a lot of people that lived up there in that area got used to that. And I think you know, we'd buy jugs of water, and it was like, yeah, I don't like water. It's just, you know, no flavor. You know, I was a spoiled kid in my mind when I think back. Like, I was just, you know, why did I not like water? Now I drink a lot of water, and I force myself to drink a lot of water to stay hydrated, for one, because it's hot where I live now. You know, it gets 110 in the summer, and I've never seen that before I lived here. So, you know, I sweat just sitting here. Like, the lights on me is enough to get me just like, I'm dying, I'm sweating. And you know, I've never lived anywhere where sitting still you sweat. And this is the first place where, like, I can be sitting here, you know, just fan on me, just sweating, and it's crazy to me that it's this hot. You know, I've never, you know, like 80 degrees plus ice just starts sweating, and it's just a thing, right? So I forced myself to drink a lot more water, which did help lose a lot of weight. It did take a little while to get like completely in the habit of making sure I drink. I don't want to say it's always a gallon, but somewhere around a gallon a day I'm trying to drink, you know, and sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But you know, that comes with the side effects of like, now you're going to the bathroom all the time. You're like, everywhere I go, I need to know where the bathroom is, because I may need to go, because I drank like, you know, a liter of water before I went to the movies or something. I'm gonna need to know where the bathroom is, right? Like, just that feeling of like, this movie's not over, but I've gotta pee is the worst. So that's one of those things that you get kind of more used to, I guess, when you drink that much more water. And I used to be a person who could like go long periods of time when I was drinking a lot more soda and stuff. You really just, I don't know, didn't have to go as much. I remember being able to sit through like a couple movies at the theater and never going to the bathroom or whatever, and like going to public places and be like, I don't gotta go to the bathroom, I'm fine. And then now I'm drinking so much water, I'm like, where's the nearest restroom? I must go very soon. You know, and that kind of, it's a different way of living, I guess. Maybe just because I'm in California. But yeah, I've drank a lot of water in the last few years, and it did help me lose. I got down, I think I'm about 220 now. So losing 70 to 80 pounds, you know, is a big thing, right? That's losing a small child. That's losing like a 10-year-old. So I work with kids sometimes, so I'm always asking, like, how much do you weigh? And they're like, I weigh like 80 pounds. I'm like, I've lost that much weight. I've lost one of you. Not you or you, but myself. The weird analogy, I'm sorry. I apologize. That was a dorky thing to say. But yes, that is pretty much what I wanted to talk about. It's just been a while since I've done one of these talks, and this one probably went on a little longer than I even expected. I left music on in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud or whatever, because I figure if I can't monetize these videos on YouTube anymore, then why bother trying to take out all the music and whatever for the monetization problems? But I will say, please do go to my Twitch channel. That's Twitch TV/turtle13. My name has been up on the screen above my picture the whole time, so you know how to spell it. It is turtle and then number spelled out and then 13. And that's how you can find me on Twitter at turtle13, and then, you know, other social things. I'm generally the same name. I try and keep it all branded so that you guys can realize that it's the same guy. But yes, follow me on Twitter, and then when I get enough followers, then I can have subscribers and whatnot, and I can grow the channel. I really need the followers to get up to 50 first before I can get a subscriber button, and I'd love to do that soon. So if you do see videos of my stuff on YouTube or pushed to Twitter or Facebook, I am doing that mostly just to promote the Twitch now. If there are videos on YouTube, they're not profitable for me, but they are, you know, for pushing the channels and pushing the social stuff. Like, they are, you know, they may be vlogs and whatever, which I at one point wanted to get to where they were profitable, but it's just never gonna happen with the way YouTube is right now. So I'm less likely to put stuff up on YouTube right now, and I'm more likely to put stuff up on Twitch. And I do generally later night streamings. Like, we're talking like midnight Pacific to like 6 a.m. Somewhere in that time is when I stream, and may start a little earlier or later depending on the day or what I had going on, or how you know, when I can get home from work or whatever. So it's definitely not a set schedule, and it's definitely not, I'm not forcing myself to overdo it like I was trying to do longer streams a while back, when I first was trying to do it, and I was trying to make longer videos. But for now, I've been doing like a 2-hour stream, and I feel like that's a good amount of time to not burn myself out and still do a couple times. I want to do a couple times a week, but I'm not there yet. Sometimes I just don't have any friends on. I want to do like duos in Fortnite. And I wish I had, you know, a full group of friends that just always wanted to play, but I just don't. And then I have some friends that just don't have the good quality mics, or don't have good mic etiquette, don't use push to talk, and I apologize, but I just won't play with them on stream. Like, I love those friends, and I love playing with them in League of Legends and stuff, but if you're eating chips and whatever during my stream, that ain't happening. Like, I'm not playing with you in streaming. So, you know, some of them know that, because I've told them, like, to their face, like, look, if you get push to talk enabled and you just, you know, don't sit there and munch on stuff, I'll play games with you, but until then, no. You know, and then some of them have like the webcam mic that picks up every click and clack of the keyboard, and you can hear cats banging on the door, and you can hear their mom with a pan in the kitchen, you can hear. So some of those people, sorry, but you know, until you get a mic with a condenser or something that you know, doesn't pick up all the background noise, not happening. Sorry. Other than that, though, I appreciate everyone that's watched this, everyone that can like it and whatever. That helps me out. All the social things you can do. Following me on Twitch right now is the best one. Following me on Twitter is also helpful. You can see when my my notifications tell you that I'm going live on Twitch. And yeah, I want to get the follows on Twitch. That's the big one. Please, if you got friends that will follow me, send them there. Tell them, you know, you just need to get this buddy to 50 followers so he can get his sub button, and then, you know, hopefully they like and they stick around. But I mean, let's just try and get it built for now. You know, thanks for doing that and helping me out. I appreciate it, guys. And I don't know when the next time I'll have another one of these Turtle Talk episodes. My vlog show has been not so well received, probably just because it's so long. And you know, I don't know why some of them used to get viewed, and then some of them when I reviewed stuff were fine, and then other ones not so much. But it's been a while since I've done one, that's why this is happening. And then, you know, to push the other channel. So I do feel like I finally got the setup with the lighting and the camera and the nice microphone. The Yeti microphone is you know, not the best microphone out there, but it's a good budget one, right? And I feel like I've got the levels and stuff kind of set where I like them. At least for streaming wise, I think it's all pretty good. And I hope the quality is, you know, at least, you know, good enough for people to enjoy. And if you do, I mean, if you have any other, you know, notes about it, let me know, because I would like to actually have some feedback from other people, because I can listen to it myself in headphones. I can listen to it on my speakers and see if the noise levels kind of balance and fit right? But it's still my ears and my preferences. I don't know if it's really well balanced or if it's just balanced for me on my setup. You know, and I try and judge it off of other people's setups. But you know, some people have like a really expensive $800 microphone and I don't. Some people have a really expensive $600 camera and I don't. I have, you know, a Logitech C920 and it's good, but it's not the best. And it doesn't have the best software because it's Logitech, but it looks pretty good. You know, when you got enough lighting and stuff, a Logitech C920 is okay. Especially for like a small, like in the bottom of a window scene, it's a good webcam. Now for vlogging, it's not quite the best quality, but you know, you're watching me talk, so it's not much. I could actually probably just put this up as an audio thing on SoundCloud or something, iTunes, and that'd probably work just fine for most people too, if they enjoy the sound of my voice and just the way I talk about things. Maybe it's a ASMR kind of thing where I'm just kind of a low mumbling fool. Maybe it's the way that I talk. I don't know. I try not being monotone. I've been told by a person in the past that I have a very monotone voice, and I was like, are you sure you're talking to me? Because I don't know, I normally, like, especially when I'm streaming and stuff, I throw in some, like, you know, some weird voices and some weird accents, and I don't feel like I'm a monotone person. Maybe a low tone bassy voice, but I don't feel like I'm quite what she was explaining. And I was like, huh? You know, sometimes you get those kind of criticisms, you're like, do you know what that word means? Do you know what that word means? And yeah, I don't hang out with that friend anymore, so I don't feel bad talking about that, because I don't even know where that person is. I haven't seen them since my Counter-Strike Source days. That was so long ago. Man, that's probably been 10 years or more ago that person told me that, and I was like, really? I'm monotone? Like, I had a friend who was monotone, and that dude was blah, blah, blah. Just everything he said was so droll. And you know the Mountain Man guy in Duck Dynasty, that radio host, like, he sounded like that. I don't think I have that. I think I have some highs and lows, and I wish I could balance it a little bit better. Maybe back then I didn't have the best microphone for it, but now I've got a decent one, or an okay one. So, you know, if I need to balance stuff, I can, and I can set it up a little bit better, and I can get the levels, you know, higher, lower. I could have the music lower. If I need the mic louder, I could do that. So many things. Now, I will say that I always normally have like a fan over there that you guys can't see, but it's hot here, and I have it off for this because I knew I was going to record, but like when I'm streaming, sometimes I need that on because it is so hot in here when you're in here for long enough. This room with the computer below me, like the computer's right there. Right there. I'm trying to like get my hand in the camera, but like it's down below me on my left. And when it's going, it is putting out some heat, and this room gets real warm. And if the AC's on, you're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear the fan noises. You're gonna hear the computer's case fans. You're gonna hear all that. I've gotten some soundproofing foam and stuff all on the back walls and on the side walls and even on the ceiling now. I've got a nice thing behind the mic trying to catch any noise that comes from that side of the room. I've got the pop filter and stuff, but it's not perfect. There is still just ambient noise in here, and I wish I could get it better. I wish I could make it perfect. I wish I could have a completely like carpeted room and have the PC in another room and have just like the monitor and keyboard in here, and then you guys might hear the clickety clack, but you wouldn't have to hear the fans and stuff. But it's just not possible right now. Right now, it's not possible. I wish I could. Someday in the future, when I have more money and all the money for like 15-foot long cables, and I can put the computer, you know, a room or two over, and then have it just like, you know, have like the monitor and keyboard that I need here and the webcam and stuff, but everything else really far away, you know. If I could just get all the really long, like that would be, like that's always been like a thought of what I want to do, but like not quite the reality of what I can do yet. Someday, maybe. But yeah. Other than those things, if you guys have suggestions for me, let me know in the comments on the YouTube thing, or hit me up. I was gonna say on Twitch or at Twitter, at Turtle13. Those are the best places for you to reach me. I do have a Discord that I'm going to start trying to use with my Twitch. I'm not sure how that's gonna work because I want to have, when there's a subscriber level, I want to have a subscriber only section of chats, and then I guess I could have like a follower only section, or like a thing that when you follow you can get on the thing on the Discord channel. I'm not sure how that would work. I kind of need to get to a point where I have mods in the Twitch chat and have mods on the Discord, and so I don't know when I want to actually start giving the Discord out. I right now just use it for friends, and very few of them even use that. We have our own other channels that we use. So yeah, if you do hear me with friends streaming and stuff, you know, we're probably on Discord. That's how we communicate generally when we're playing League or any other games. So yeah. Anyways, this has been a lot more rambling at the end than it should have been. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.